Okay, we live, baby. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Kid Clutch Sports. I'm your host, Kid Clutch. Tonight we are gonna break down everything that just went down on WWE Backlash on the night. Hold on, this thing dark. A minute. How's that? Here we go. Now I'm back. Now listen, this wasn't just a WWE show. This was a night where storylines that had been building up for months finally exploded into a spectacle in real time. We're talking about the collapse of the Vision, the bloodline reaching its breaking point, championships changing careers, and the chaos taking over WWE from start to finish. All right, let's get into it. Match one, Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker. This was a match to remember. You can't understand this match without understanding how this match even started, because you got to think about it like this. Seth Rollins aligned with Paul Heyman at WrestleMania 41 last year. Then Braun Breaker joined him along with Bronson Reed, and they became a staple core of the Vision. But you got to understand that these alliances never match in the WWE. That's what makes it so crazy, because you just never know who's going to be on the team, who's going to be friends, who's going to become rivalries, bitter enemies. And that's what this theme of tonight basically described. It was family versus family. It was friends versus friends, mentor versus mentee. And they sparked into like these huge rivalries around sports entertainment. It was weird to start, but the rivalries, you understand why the writers, they put it together, in Triple H and Paul Heyman, in the WWE writing group, Nick Khan, why they wanted this to happen. Because I think this actually was better put together than the actual WrestleMania. WrestleMania the first night, WrestleMania the second night was pretty good. The first night was a little off. But Braun Breaker turned on Reed. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed turned on Seth Rollins, and that wasn't good. They kicked him out of their group, and then they forced him to vacate his WWE World Heavyweight Championship. So I think that's where that rivalry really stems from. Seth Rollins was mad, but what I noticed is from that post-match, when they went on the WWE post-match show, and they showed Seth Rollins, it was like he was devastated. It's like he was losing his confidence after that match. But things took a turn in this match. Throughout the storyline, a masked attacker started targeting the Vision, and it was later revealed that the attacker was Seth Rollins. So you see, now you see how this rivalry is about to take off. It's about to get crazy. So by the time he gets to Backlash, it became more than just a storyline. This started becoming a bitter rivalry where it was getting personal. You started to see the betrayal. You started to see the leaders turning on each other. So you started to see basically like, and I think WWE is really good at this, is where you see reality merges with the storyline in WWE. So you really don't know what is real and what's not real, but you'll find it out like years later when they do like a documentary on it. So that's crazy how they merge that. And I always, it's mirroring how the Attitude Era used to go, where you could see Triple H's influence over the creative department, where it's like who's friends and who's foes and who's really friends outside of the actual storyline and who's not, and who's really beefing behind the scenes. Then it carries on into the in-ring experience. So they basically gives the fans what they want. It's basically raw emotion, raw entertainment, raw rivalry, raw aggression. We also saw something basically like the past versus the present. I call it the blast from the past. That's what I think is the storyline that's going to take all the way through. I think it's going to go all the way through probably Night of Champions. That's the way it looks like it's going to stretch out to be. And John Cena coming out, I'm going to explain that later. With his announcement, it kind of confirmed what I thought already about that. But you got to understand, when that bell rings, that's when you start to see with these wrestlers, with these writers, with the whole WWE universe has been waiting for it. You're going to see everything come to fruition, and you're going to see everything collide. You start to see the masterpieces moving. You start to see what Triple H and creative team, what they've been doing, the masterpiece they've been creating. You start to see that blank canvas become a masterpiece. But the thing what Braun Breaker did is he stepped it up. He sent a message tonight with that win against Seth Rollins. He was letting you know that he wasn't just the future. He's already here and he's the present. And he's letting you know he needs to be put on more pay-per-views and that he's going to be a main eventer soon. He's letting you know I'm coming. He's sending the message to all the wrestlers, the top guys, that I'm going to be the number one contender for your championship soon. So I think Roman Reigns better watch out too for Braun Breaker, because Braun is coming. There's no stopping him. But that match, you saw them going back and forth. It was like I call it a dog fight, where you see Braun wasn't playing around. He was coming to earn his respect, and then he basically is sending a message to Seth Rollins that we kicked you out of our staple for a reason, because we don't need you. We're the present and we're the future. But I got to give it to them. This match was going crazy because these two guys was going at it from the start, from the beginning. You saw Paul Heyman come out, and you can see the sheer anger. I think Paul Heyman brings out all of his clients, not just his clients, just everybody. Because Paul Heyman, I think, is probably the most hated guy in sports. That's just my opinion. Wrestling, sports entertainment. But in this match, Braun Breaker showed his strength, his power, his speed, his agility. to the point where Michael Cole said when he was walking out and that match first started, he said, I think Braun Breaker is the WWE superstar's worst nightmare. And I kind of got to agree because he came out with this look he had like a Brock Lesnar type look to where he was taking no prisoners. Anybody he saw out there, he was going to come out there and destroy him. Like he like a madman. But the thing that's getting crazy is because even though that Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins are not on good terms now, he warned Breaker about Paul Heyman. And I think you got to watch Paul Heyman because now like Brock Lesnar is retired, so Paul is going to try to weasel his way into the next superstar, especially to get back at Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. This is what Paul Heyman does. He likes to play chess with these guys. So I'm interested to see how the WWE is going to do the next bookings for these two guys. I think Seth may take some time off. I don't know, but I think Braun, this was his coming out party. He was just letting you know I'm here. But at one point in time in this match, I saw Seth Rollins, he was getting exhausted, where he was trying to give it his all, but Braun was wearing him down. And Braun was taking advantage of it too. So when I saw that, I said, yeah, I think Braun Breaker is going to win this match because he came at him full force. He was quick too. It's like he couldn't stop him. He'd get him, but Braun Breaker was always in control of this match. And when he hit him with that clothesline, I thought the match was over then, but I got to give it to Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins showed strength and mental toughness and physical toughness with how he was going at Braun Breaker. He wasn't backing down. Even though it was taking everything out of him, he kept going at him. He even hit him when he pushed him into the ring, and then when he pushed Seth into the ring, Seth hit him with a suplex. I was like, man, this dude is tough. But Braun Breaker, he showed his toughness too because he broke out of it. And that's the crazy part because they said, basically the announcers were saying was Michael Cole and Wade Barrett, they said usually when Rollins hits an opponent with that suplex, it's 1, 2, 3 and the match is over. But Braun showed his toughness by kicking out of that. When you saw that, it was like, man. It was like he had a no die attitude. He wasn't going down. He was going to keep going at him. Then Seth Rollins hit Braun Breaker with a pedigree. Then he stomps on Braun Breaker. This dude still doesn't go down. It's crazy. This dude is tough. Then after that, I was surprised to see this from Seth Rollins. Division came out. Austin Theory and Logan Paul. They tried to attack Seth Rollins, but it was like he was waiting for them to come out there. He's like, okay, you out here. I was expecting you to come out here. What took you so long? But when he did that, they tried to go at him, and he was prepared for the interference. So he chased them. He started hitting them, and then Seth Rollins ran back in the ring. After he did that, then Braun Breaker spears him. And then he tries to hit him with Rollins with a take 2. But he got out of that because he dodged it. And then he spears Seth Rollins and wins the match. I think this is the biggest match of his career, Braun Breaker's career. This match showed that he can hang with the big dogs and he's ready for a title shot soon. Not yet. I give it a few more pay-per-views and then he'll be able to fight for a championship. Then after that, got the second match. You got United States Championship. This one was entertaining with Trick Williams and Sami Zayn. This was a storyline that started from WrestleMania 22 when Trick Williams defeated Sami Zayn with help from Little Yachty. I don't know why he got Little Yachty. Little Yachty is a good tag team partner and wingman because he came out prepared. He had that. It was like it's like a candy cane stick that he kept on waving around trying to hit Sami Zayn with. And you could tell it was making Sami mad, but I think Sami Zayn got to get more focused with his matches because it's like he had the energy, but it was like he was letting Trick Williams get him so hyped to where he was losing his focus. And Little Yachty, so he wasn't. I kind of felt bad for Sami because Sami is a really skilled wrestler, but he let Trick Williams get him off his game. So let me give you a little background with this. From last night, for those of you that didn't see SmackDown, Trick Williams and Little Yachty was celebrating last night because they was at the with a mascot with a gingerbread mascot attacked them. But there's a plot twist to that. The gingerbread mascot that attacked them was Sami Zayn in disguise. That's when things started to heat up because Sami started showing his frustration between Trick Williams. And he tried to pressure him because he's trying to win the championship from him. And see, Sami Zayn been wrestling a long time, but he feels like Trick Williams is taking his shine. And Trick Williams is trying to show him, look, man, I'm the man. I got charisma. I got all this and that. But I think both of them are equally as popular because I saw the crowd cheering for both of them. Won the match when they was trading blows and fighting in the match. But I think what's going on too is that Sami is kind of getting mad because he's feeling he's not getting the same shine as Trick Williams. But you gotta understand, Trick Williams is the hottest probably wrestler out there right now. Sami Zayn is the veteran, but Trick Williams is a very skilled wrestler too. Not just charismatic, not just flashy. He's skilled and he's smart too. But I think with this title match, with it showed and with storyline showed leading up to it, it wasn't just about the match. It was about the respect and kind of the legitimacy. It's kind of like who's going to carry the title going through from Backlash. Because really, he wants to be the man, but Trick Williams is the man right now. I don't think anybody gonna stop Trick Williams right now because he's got a lot of momentum on his side. He's gonna be tough to beat. But I'm interested to see how this match goes. Is this match gonna put Sami Zayn back at the bottom of the totem pole, or is he gonna get another shot at the title with Trick Williams, or is he gonna get another shot at another title? But I think it was about who belongs at the top in this match. I think Trick Williams proved again why he belongs at the top. But I think Sami Zayn also, he feels humiliated by Trick Williams, so he's gotta prove myself, gotta prove myself. But in the process of him doing that, he lost his focus, and then Lil Yachty came in and distracted the referee. Then he almost lost that match early due to Lil Yachty, but Lil Yachty ended up almost messing up Trick Williams because he was setting a trap for Sami Zayn. But Lil Yachty is lucky that Trick Williams was able to gain the momentum and clean up his mess, because he would have lost that title if Sami was more focused. As you can tell, Sami was being irritated by Lil Yachty. That's why he wasn't even able to really beat him, because he started off good, and then Lil Yachty started getting under his skin, and then he confronts him outside the ring, and then Lil Yachty waves the candlestick to provoke him. Then after that, he gets distracted, and then after he gets distracted, he gets mad and start yelling at the fans. And then that's the wrong thing you can do with Trick Williams, because he's a skilled and I want to say cerebral type of fighter. He's kind of like a Triple H. He's going to exploit any weakness that you have. And he wrestles like it's a chess match. He's going to let his opponent make the mistakes and then capitalize off of it. And I think that's kind of what messed Sami up, is that he got so mad with the fans that Trick took advantage of him. And then after that, Trick ended up slamming him. But luckily, Sami kicked out of that pin. Sami was trying to exhaust Trick Williams in that match, but Trick Williams knew the game. He wasn't getting off his game with that, because he knew he just let Sami self-destruct. And he capitalizes off of that, and he ended up winning, which he ended up doing. Sami hits Trick with a thunder bomb, but Trick kicks out of the pin. Then Sami hits Trick Williams with the candlestick while Lil Yachty tries to distract the ref. That's where we're getting at to that point right there, but that didn't work. It worked for a little bit because Sami took advantage of that mistake, and he tries to pin Trick, but Trick kicked out of that. Then after they go out of the ring, Lil Yachty hits Sami with the candlestick, and then Trick pins Sami after he get back in the ring, but he kicks out of it. Then they go back out of the ring, and Sami punches Lil Yachty, hits him with the candlestick. That part was funny, because I thought he was gonna hit him with the stick, and he's gonna fall over the top turnbuckle. Well, no, the barricades, but that didn't work. And then that's when Trick kind of came in and swooped in. He hit him with the DDT on the ring of the steps. It had to hurt. He hit him hard. I thought he was out with that one, but Sami Zayn powered through, and he got back up. Then he hits Lil Yachty with the kick. Then they go back in the ring, and then Trick hits Sami with a trick shot, and he pins him, and that's when he retains the United States Championship. So that was a good match. But you knew who was going to win that match, because I think Trick Williams had the mental edge over Sami Zayn in that match. But what was so funny about that match is after the match ends, the money they had, Trick Williams and Lil Yachty had money falling from the air. I wonder if the fans was catching that money. They ended up keeping it. I want some of that money. Transition into match number 3. Danhausen and his mystery partner. Versus The Miz and Kit Wilson. But there's a plot twist to that. What end up happening is his mystery partner is a clone of himself, Dan Hauser, Mini Hauser. So he's like a little guy. I guess you call him a dwarf. And he comes out running. It is funny, but we'll get to that part in a minute where he starts making Wade Barrett mad. But this match has been building up for some weeks now. Dan Hauser made his debut out of NXT from at the Elimination Chamber. The thing with him, he wants to be a Hall of Famer. And I think he kind of made his case tonight with that. If he keeps going at this trajectory, I think he can get there. He's been doing some serious wrestling since his Elimination Chamber match. But his mentor, Nick Ace. Okay, I'll read that in a minute. But his mentor, Dan Adis, introduces him to The Miz. And this is where this rivalry starts to heat up because him and The Miz, they don't click because The Miz rejects him. So Dan Hauser responds with a curse. And see, after Dan Hauser puts the curse on her, The Miz starts suffering from bad luck. And then Kit Wilson gets dragged into this rivalry too in this mess. And then after that, their matches over the next few weeks start to collapse in weird ways, kind of like tonight. Referees get random injuries. And then The Miz, he eventually crashes out and admits that he believes he's cursed by Dan Hauser. But he immediately betrays Dan Hauser anyway. And true story too, since Dan Hauser has been rooting for the Knicks, they've been on a winning streak. So this match and this rivalry has kind of been a superstition. And I think this was probably the weirdest match of the night. I didn't know it was going to take that type of turn. So the match starts and that they reveal the mystery partner to be a mini Hauser, mini version of Dan Hauser. And then after that happens, you get Wade Barrett, the announcer, former wrestler. He gets mad with Mini Hauser. I think he has it out for him. Then Mini Hauser, he's pretty skilled of a fighter, a wrestler. What he ends up doing is that he hits The Miz with a Hurricane Rana. And after he hits him with the Hurricane Rana, Miz, he ends up hitting them with some more skills. And that's when Wade Barrett gets mad and calls him the devil. The Miz gets mad. He drives him into the turnbuckle, pushes him into it. He starts attacking Dan Hauser. Kit Wilson kicks the Mini Hauser. Then he starts beating up Mini Hauser. The Miz and Kit Wilson ended up double teaming Minnie Hauser. I thought that was crazy because like, why are these two tall guys bullying this little midget? Like he kind of reminded me of like a combination of Hornswoggle and Rey Mysterio, where he was skilled, but he was so mischievous you couldn't stop him. So Kit Wilson starts to get mad and he just starts to wail on him and he ragdogs the Minnie Hauser, spins him around. Then Wade Barrett, he gets mad at the announce table, calls him a little pest. Wade Barrett really hates the Minnie Hauser. I don't know why. I don't know what he did to him. He couldn't stand him. I was hoping he go to the announce table and bother Wade Barrett, hit him. That would have been funny. But Dan Hauser, what he does, he ends up DDTing the Miz. And after he DDTs the Miz, the Minnie Hauser comes out. He knocks out Kit Wilson. He knocks him out of the ring. He falls. And I thought that was going to shift the momentum of the match. But this match got weirder because Minnie Hauser jumps out of the ring on top of the Kit Wilson and the Miz. What ended up happening after that is Kit Wilson puts Minnie Hauser inside a clone machine. I didn't know what was going to happen after he put him in a clone machine. I didn't know if he was going to come out and turn into like the Dan Hauser back to his normal size, but no, it's like 5 Minnie Hausers come running out, chasing Kit Wilson around the arena. And then Wade Barrett gets mad because the 5 Minnie Hausers, they run around the announce table and they celebrating near him. Kit Wilson puts Minnie Hauser inside the ring, and Minnie Hauser tries to curse Kit Wilson. But what happens after that is Kit Wilson uses a mirror to curse Mid Hauser back. Then the Miz got a fire extinguisher. He tried to use it on Dan Hauser, but the Dan Hauser was just standing there waiting for him to do something. And then after that, it's like he sprayed the fire extinguisher. It ended up hitting his own partner, Kit Wilson. Because I found out after that, a few seconds after that match, is that Kit Wilson had Minnie Hauser curse, but what happened is the curse reversed on Kit Wilson and the Miz. So the Miz ended up spraying himself with the fire extinguisher because I thought he was gonna spray all the Minnie Hauser clones, but it didn't work out like that. So it looked like they was beating them. They ended up beating themselves with that. And Dan Hauser and Minnie Hauser kicks Kit Wilson. He pins Kit Wilson. Dan Hauser and Minnie Hauser win the match by a pinfall. This match was funny because you started seeing the announcers showing their biases. Because Michael Cole was happy and Wade Barrett was mad. He starts going on for about Dan Hauser and Minnie Hauser winning the match. I don't know what his vendetta against him is. It's crazy. Let's look in the comment sections. Roman Reigns dominated Jacob Fontu. Yeah, he did. Let me see something. That's my man, Dan the Man. Dominated. start to finish. What up there, the man? I'm gonna talk about that match at the end. We're almost there with that one. But that match was crazy. I didn't expect it to go like that after it ended. That's crazy. Moving on to match 4. Io Sky and Oscar. I call this match the mentor versus the mentee or the student. But it looks like that match was deeper than that. After SummerSlam, Io Sky builds a bond with Rhea Ripley. That's what ends up taking a turn with their relationship a little bit, where it triggers Asuka because Asuka sees Io Sky as her legacy, like her successor in the wrestling business, her student. That leads to a betrayal from the Kabuki Warriors. What happens with that is after months of matches, war games, tag team battles, singles matches, and rematches, you start to see cracks in their alliance where you starting to break down. You start to see Io Sky is like she's becoming an elite wrestler. You start to see where like the students is no longer the student is becoming a master. That means she's becoming a threat to Asuka. But I didn't expect this match to go the way it was because it looked like Asuka was dominating this match from the start. But it looks like in the middle of the match that this rivalry wasn't just a regular wrestling rivalry where they was fighting for like status. It looked like it was getting personal. Io Sky, I started to see the momentum shift toward the end of the match because I started seeing her using her unorthodox skill and style to gain the advantage over Asuka. And that's when I think the momentum of that match changed to where she started dominating. But I don't think that's a successful way to win matches because in this match, with Asuka being a veteran, I thought she would have been able to counter that stuff at the end that Io Sky was hitting on her because Io Sky, if you look at that whole match, she was operating purely on instincts. It was no real strategy. She was reacting to what was going on to gain an advantage over Asuka. But it was a nice moment to see that the crowd was cheering on both women while they was trading blows, hitting each other. But to me, it kind of was showing like a passing of the torch a little bit. But Asuka started taking advantage of Io Sky's inexperience. Once she knocked her out of the ring, she slammed her head on the announce table. But I think what really shifted this match is when Io Sky picked up a notebook to block Asuka. I was surprised. I thought it was like a little piece off the announce table, but they said it was a notebook. Then they get back in the ring, and then she tries to hit her with a submission finisher, but Asuka trades back and forth for Io Sky. She tries to make her tap out. The Io Sky tries to make Asuka tap out, but they both kick out of the attempted submission moves. But Io Sky ends up beating Asuka by a pinfall. 1, 2, 3. But the match ended very good. I like what happened after the match. Io Sky shows Asuka respect. After she wins the match, they end up hugging each other. I didn't know the match was gonna go like that after, because I kept looking closely. I was like, is she gonna hug her and then she's gonna attack her? Then it's gonna intensify the rivalry. I don't know. I like the way it ended, but I want to see what's gonna happen on Monday Night Raw, what's gonna happen on SmackDown with this one. Then after that match, what happens is that John Cena comes out and he announces that there's gonna be something called a John Cena Classic. But there's a twist to it. He said he said there's gonna be a new event. So I don't know if that's gonna be like a pay-per-view or just a new match in honor of him. And in honor of his favorite match styles. But he also announced that there's gonna be a new championship in the WWE. So I don't know if they're gonna name it the John Cena Championship or the John Cena Classic, but I can't wait to see what happens with that. And he also gave shout outs to a lot of the new wrestlers that's on pay-per-view cards now that came out of NXT. And he's glad that he's seen Uma Femi wrestle in WrestleMania. That's another wrestler I want to see more of. He said Javon, what's his name? I forgot his name. Davon, I forgot his last name. He wants to see him wrestle some more. So I thought that was a good one. And now the match that everybody's been waiting for to hear about, the main event. This is for the World Heavyweight Championship. Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu. This story goes all the way back to 2024 when Jacob Fatu debuted in the Bloodline under the name Solo Sikoa. See, at first his role in this whole alliance / staple was he was the enforcer. He protected Roman Reigns. He carried out any of the orders that he needed. He was kind of like a goon for the family. But over time, his position evolved as the bloodline began to collapse and Roman Reigns took some time off. And then Roman returned. And that's where the balance of power started to shift and family dynamics got weird. And you could tell that Jacob Fatu, well, at the time, Solo Sikoa, was getting jealous of Roman. You could tell he wanted to be the head of the table. You could tell he wanted to be the tribal chief. And Roman wasn't having that because Roman is basically telling them, I'm the tribal chief. I'm the head of the table. There's only one man in charge, and that's me. then that's when you can tell the bloodline civil war began and everything started to fall apart. Jacob Fontu ended up breaking away and leaving the alliance, staple, the bloodline, whatever you want to call it. He started to go his own path. Now here we are in 26. Roman becomes the world heavyweight champion once again. And Jacob Fontu demands a title match. Roman refuses to give him the match that he wants. He calls him out because he's saying, you think I'm gonna give you a title match because we're related? You trying to run that nepotism card on me? No. And he tells him, you ain't ready. And Jacob Fontu felt disrespected, and that leads to this match being made, and disrespect rolls out of control on both sides. And what happens after that is they come out to this match and they have a stare down. I like how WWE put that in the match before they even started, because if you've never watched a wrestling match or a WWE match, it gave you insight into the rivalry. Like there's deep rooted issues between these two guys, and that these two guys are eyeing each other. They don't trust each other. And it's like you got one saying, you got what I want, and the other saying, this is mine, you're not getting it, but I'm keeping my eye on you. But I think what happened too in this match is that I think Roman Reigns kind of underestimated how dangerous that Jacob Fontu can be. When the match starts, Roman Reigns tried to hit Jacob Fontu with a clothesline. But something crazy happened when he did that. He hit him, and Jacob Fontu stood tall. He stood there like he was a brick wall, tough and unfazed. And Jacob hit Roman with a clothesline. Basically, you can call it a reverse, because Roman tried to hit him with a clothesline, but it didn't work. What you gotta understand is Roman is a 7-time champion, 7-time world champion at that. He's trying to show his cousin with experiences. You gotta understand this too. This is Jacob Fontu's first world heavyweight championship match ever against the tribal chief. And I found out today, I knew Roman held that WWE World Heavyweight Championship for a long time, but I didn't know he held it for almost 4 years. That is crazy. That may be the most dominant run ever from a world championship in WWE. So you got to understand, Roman has a lot of experience. And he's very skilled. He's cerebral, like a Triple H. But Roman still has a lot of power. With the way he punches. I've never seen a wrestler spear somebody the way, with the amount of power and agility and quickness that Roman Reigns has. I've seen Edge do the spear, and Edge is like, you can see him do it. But Roman is just like, he spears you and is like, he does it so quick. It's like he's jumping up like a cat. It just knocks you down. But back to this match, what happens is Roman is trying to wear out Jacob Fatu, but Jacob is not backing down. He pushes Roman into the turnbuckle. But see, Jacob made the same mistake that I think Sami Zayn made in a match earlier. Jacob was trying to play to the crowd once he got Roman where he wanted to. You gotta understand that Roman doesn't play to the crowd. Roman stays focused and he keeps his eye on his opponent. And this is where it shows you, okay, maybe Jacob Fatu wasn't ready to fight Roman, because for you to play to the crowd while Roman Reigns is down, that may be the stupidest thing a wrestler can ever do, because you're going to get Roman hype. And you're going to get Roman even more focused and angrier and determined to beat you, which he did. Roman took advantage of that mistake that he made, and he pushed Jacob Fatu into the turnbuckle. Then Roman hits him with this crazy punch. Then he pins him, but Jacob Fatu kicks out of it on a 1 count. Roman looks surprised because he's like, the look that he had on his face is like, what did I get myself into? Who is this dude? It's like he saw a ghost, or he saw like a demon or a monster. It was crazy. But then Roman gets back up and he goes full steam Jacob Fatu, and then Roman pins Jacob again, but this time it gets closer because Jacob kicks out of the pin at the 2.5 count. So you can tell he's wearing him down a little bit to where, okay, Roman is in control. They go outside the ring, pushes him out the ring. Jacob smashes Roman into the announce table. It breaks the announce table with Roman on it. Like Roman falls all the way into it. Jacob pushes him back into the ring. He goes toward Roman Reigns. Then you know what happens now. He's been doing this since he was the big dog. This is before the tribal chief years. He spears him. Then he pins him again. But then again, Jacob Fatu kicks out. You could tell Roman is getting irritated. I'm getting irritated watching this match because I'm like, what is it going to take to knock this dude out? For Roman to beat him, this dude is not going down. I give it to him. He wouldn't go down without a fight. So Jacob hits Roman with a fighting moonsault. Then Jacob pins Roman. Roman kicks out of a close count too. Then after this kind of reminds you of how the match started. It shows you how both of these guys were determined to not fall. As you see Roman, he hits Jacob Fatu. Then Jacob hits Roman Reigns. Then they keep going back and forth, trading blows, trading punches. Then after that, the crowd starts reacting. And it gets hyped. Then Jacob Fontu is calling for the tongue of death whip. He starts choking Roman Reigns. And for a minute, it looks like Roman Reigns is going to tap out. But Roman Reigns gets out of it. Final moment. The referee even asks him, do you want to tap out? Where he's going to put his hand up. Roman didn't do it. Roman got back up. Then the referee gets pushed to the turnbuckle. Then Roman spears Jacob. Then he pins Jacob. But then again, Jacob kicks out. This was a crazy match. This is definitely the best match of the night, in my opinion. Now, Jacob hits Roman with a tongue of death whip again. And the ironic thing with that tongue of death whip is that Jacob Fontu's uncle was the person that popularized that submission move, or he either created it. It's one of the two. I got to look it up and see. But I heard Michael Cole and Wade Barrett talking about that. I had never knew that. Good fact. But Roman gets out of it. Roman pins Jacob and remains the champ by pinfall. 1, 2, 3. But you would have thought this was the end of the match, but it was far from over. Because Jacob Fontu hits Roman Reigns with a tongue of death again. And he snaps after that match. It's like he starts crashing out. It's like, what's going on with this guy? It's like, it's basically, you would think he was a raging bull the way he was acting. He started escalating. He even attacked the referee when the referee tried to intervene and stop him. He was just unhinged. Then the general manager of SmackDown, Adam Pearce, comes in the ring and tries to get him to stop. And then you got medical staff, they're coming in. It's like a ring full of WWE personnel. But he takes, Jacob Fontu takes Adam Pearce, the general manager of SmackDown, and throws him out of the ring. And after he throws him out of the ring, he goes back to attacking Roman. Then the medical staff and the referee had to get Jacob off of Roman. But then they finally get him off of him because he was going to probably really, I don't know the word for that. The way he was choking him, it was crazy. Like, he's going to probably have him pass out if he kept choking him like that, to where he couldn't move on his own power. But Jacob leaves the ring. After he leaves the ring, he comes back to the ring and attacks Roman some more. After he attacks Roman, they finally get him away from Roman, and he goes. And then what happens is, after like the match, they interview Roman, and Roman was mad. I never seen Roman Reigns that mad like that. Because Roman Reigns, at first, it looked like he's like, they asked him about the match. He's like, nah. He got so mad. He said, Jacob Fontu is not getting another match with me. But I don't know how that's gonna happen, because the way the match ended, I don't know if this rivalry is gonna sprinkle out into other pay-per-view matches, and even maybe SmackDown or Raw. But on the WWE post show, the official one they had, I saw Big E arguing with it was one of those dude, I forgot the dude's name, and he was also arguing with Peter Rosenberg, and they was saying this is not a normal match. And it was going back and forth, and they was debating whether this match was going to be a rematch down the line, or did he just ruin it? But I don't know which one it's going to be. I just know it's getting crazy. And I want to see where this thing goes. I want to see if Roman is going to go and challenge him on SmackDown. I don't know. Leave your thoughts in the comments on what you think this match is going to be. And what rivalries you want to see in the coming events. But before we get out of here, I'm going to reveal my top 5 surprises from WWE Backlash show. Get that prepared. Give me a minute on that. While I'm preparing that, I want you just to leave the matches that you want to see and the rivalries that you want to see coming in future events for WWE while I'm doing that. Oh, man. Number 5, I'm going to have to say that The Miz and Kit Wilson fall a victim to the curse and the chaos. Finisher. That match was weird. I don't want to call it that. Oh. They fall a victim through the curse. Number 4 is something that I don't think any of y'all would be surprised about. This is Braun Breaker dominating Seth Rollins. That was a statement win on the biggest stage in wrestling. As I said earlier, Braun Breaker is like, he's coming. He's not just the future, he's the present. And my number 3 surprising moment for top 5 surprising moment of Backlash was Io Sky and Asuka showing respect to each other after the match. They end up hugging it out. And it was an emotional thing. I never seen Asuka be emotional like that. So I don't know if that's going to mean she's retiring from WWE or it's a passing of the torch, or I don't know. It's usually when you see matches like that, it can kind of go different ways. But I think she may retire. And I don't know if this rivalry is going to reach the point to where it's closing and it's ending, and you're going to see Io Sky start fighting more elite wrestlers, or even be a championship contender. But let's see what happens with that. My number two surprising moment of Backlash would have to be Dan Houser and his Mr. Mysterious partner, Minnie Hauser. This match was chaos and weird from the beginning. But it was entertaining. It was surprising too because I didn't expect the Minnie Hauser to be so skilled. Like I said, he was like a combination of Rey Mysterio and Hornswoggle. Like, it was no stopping him. And it was like you had the Miz and Kit Wilson double teaming this little guy. I would like to see more of him. This is entertaining. And my number one surprise of the night for Backlash shouldn't be a surprise, I think. I think we all may be feeling this way, and that's Jacob Frontu crashing out after the main event. Excuse me, losing the main event to Roman Reigns. He didn't just show his anger. This was just a bloodline descended losing control. This could mean that the rivalry could continue, or I don't know. Roman may just ask them to kick him to the bottom of the totem pole now, so he ain't got to wrestle him. But I would like to see the rivalry continue because I think it's just getting started. Overall, Backlash, we saw new stars. Backlash lived up to the hype. I think it was better than the first night of WrestleMania. We saw new rising stars. We saw legends tested. We saw champions gain more and more aggression. We saw champions also at the back of their mind thinking about how they're going to approach a lot of stuff going on for future pay-per-views. You seeing the champions in the back of their mind is like, I've been tested, but is this person going to be the heir apparent to me? Do I have to keep an eye on them, or is this just a one-off? Is this person going to be the future of the WWE, or are they going to flame out? Or are they going to ruin their chances at the championship? Because they're leaving the champions thinking, are these wrestlers up to the task yet? And I'm thinking, yeah. And we saw WWE, they set the tone for the next pay-per-view. I can't wait for SummerSlam. But in between that, you're going to have Saturday night main events. It's two of those. It's one on May 23rd, and they're saying they're going to be wrestling that in Fort Worth, Indiana, at the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum. And then you got another one coming on. That's going to be in Madison Square Garden. It should be a good one. It's in July 18, 2026. So that's in between Peacock. And then I heard they doing another one in Italy, another matchup. I may have to check out the Italy one. I think that's on Peacock. I know the other two is on Peacock. Why did it take me to that? But I won't see you at. I won't be doing a broadcast for Saturday night, my main event, the first one. But I'm going to be airing some clips of the first 3 episodes. You can watch the top moments. Also, too, I'll be putting out more lists about the top moments and top matches from the 2 Saturday night main events. I'm trying to see who won this Lakers versus Thunder match game. Oh wow, OKC blew them out again. Yes, yeah, ought to be a sweep. You got one more. This is Kid Clutch. Thank you. I'll see you on the next one, pay-per-view. Thanks for joining. Good night. Happy Mother's Day. Salute.